My name is Jason Cardona. I have been a student and teacher of Northern Shaolin and Eagle Claw Kung Fu since September of 1995. I've worked in law enforcement, corrections, security, and bail enforcement. Throughout my entire life, since the beginning of my training, I have faced many extreme difficulties on both personal and professional levels, which I believe I never would have overcome if not for the training to gain the self-discipline and knowledge of strategy to succeed in accomplishing my goals.
Hello, my name is Wanda Davila. I became involved in the martial arts 12 years ago in the disciplines of Chinese Kempo and Kaiyu Kenbo. I have recently began my journey in American Kempo and Eagle Claw Kung Fu. I am a mother, an administrative assistant, event coordinator, entrepreneur, producer, your co-host, and much more. None will be possible if it were not for the physical, mental, and spiritual changes the arts have had in my life. I can honestly say that no matter the years, days, and countless hours in the dojo, my training begins now.
Welcome to Martial Enlightenment. Welcome to Martial Enlightenment's first episode. And my name is Jason Cardona, your host.
My name is Wanda Davila, your co-host.
Yep. And today we're here to interview Mr. Randy Haskins. All right, Sensei Randy Haskins, who's also the author of Insight 101 with Big Power. Now, I've known Randy for a long time, and today, he gave us the honor of being able to interview him and his life and how martial arts is able to, has affected and continues to help him throughout his life. All right, so step in this way. Hey, good evening, Sensei Haskins.
How you doing? Good.
There you go. Good. And come inside. Haskins, thank you for having us on our first show.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
All right, and tell us about the dojo and who these gentlemen are on your walls.
This is my dojo, Underground Alliance Martial Science Research Association, Hambu Dojo. I built this maybe 10 years ago, somewhere around there. I have my three arts that I represent are Karate, Karate-Jutsu, and Judo. So I have the three founders of those systems. Gichin Funakoshi Sensei, who is considered the father of modern karate. Dr. Jigoro Kano, who is the founder of Judo out of Japan. And then we have Takeda Sensei, who is the 35th generation headmaster of the Aikido-Jutsu Daito-Ryu clan. And then the head of the Kudokai, Master Noriyasu Kudo, who is my guide, pretty much.
We're here to interview Sensei Haskins in his, on how martial arts has guided his life into, becoming the man he is today, and how it continues to guide him into what what we all hope we can all become later on in life. We all come from different disciplines here, and one thing that, you'll find throughout the interview is that it doesn't matter where you go, the goal is still the same. Where you train, the goal is still the same, to be the best you can be, and to, guide, make sure that your life is the best that can be possible and live it that way. Now, first question. Now, how long have you studied martial arts for?
I started when I was 6 years old. It's about 39, 40 years now.
Yeah. So what inspired you to start practice?
Good friend of the family's. We're so close, we call each other cousins. His name is Danny Myers. When we were younger, he took Taekwondo, and I had no idea. And we were out at a picnic, and he got upset and kicked me because I laughed at him. And I was highly impressed with his ability to kick, because I was standing on a dirt mound, and he was standing on the side of the dirt mound, and he kicked up the mound and kicked me off of the mound, and kept his balance and everything. And, I started asking him about it, and his mother took us later on, my brothers and myself, and put us in a school. And then I searched around for schools just to find what fit me, because I felt a couple of schools that I went to first didn't really fit me, my personality, or being that young, I actually didn't understand what was happening, but I knew that this is not where I wanted to be. And then I ended up running into the Whitleys in high school, Derek and Darren Whitley, and they brought me to see their older brother, Mark Whitley Sensei, and the rest is history. I never left.
Wonderful. I would like to know, can you share some fond memories of your instructors or people that you have trained with along the way?
Most definitely. Whitley Sensei and myself have been through so much together. Let me establish this first. First, I have three primary instructors.
Yes, sir.
I have Mark Whitley Sensei, Takeshi Okamoto Sensei, and Nori Kudo Sensei. Whitley Sensei taught me karate, and the things we've done together from the time I started till even to today, we've been around each other and hung out and trained and went to the bars and as part of the training, we drank a little bit and went back training in the dojo immediately following to be able to establish a good understanding of how you work out and how you train and how you would defend yourself if you were inebriated. We've done so many things. Just the insight he gave me into life itself when it came to training was just incredible. Okamoto Sensei was my Aikido-Jutsu instructor, or is my Aikido-Jutsu instructor, and our training was just, it was real intense with joint manipulation, pressure point application, muscle and tendon disruption, and just learning that and talking to him, and that was a gentleman that took me to Japan, where I fought in a tournament and trained a little bit. It was just incredible, just having that experience, and that gentleman afforded me the opportunity to do that. And then Kudo Sensei, with his judo, as well as his karate lineage, he's just enlightened me to so much and brought everything together for me.
Okay.
You know, and we still fellowship to this day. We go out, we have lunches and dinners together, and we discuss martial arts. We discuss life. You know,
And so it's just the
he's
family.
helped me.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to jump around with my questions, but I believe in your book I read that during a training session, I believe with Sensei Whitley, Kansha Whitley, that I'm not sure if it was the kick that he gave you or you kick him and he literally burned your leg with his energy. How was that for you to experience that?
You know, a lot of, in training, I've seen a lot of things that people wouldn't understand, people wouldn't believe. But we were training one day, and there was probably, we were in like a wedge formation. Whitley Sensei was leading the pack, and then there was myself and Keith Rohn Sensei. There was Chris Broughton Sensei, and there was this gentleman Jerry, and we're doing kata. So we're going through, Whitley Sensei leading the crew, and as we're going, I felt this massive amount of energy. Like I was standing next to a power plant or something. So I stopped and I'm looking around, and I look, and Keith had stopped as well. And he's looking around, and I turn around, and everybody was just sitting there like, what is going on?
Right.
Whitley Sensei, totally oblivious to what we're doing behind him, was so focused on his kata that we just look at him now. And it was coming from him. So I was like, nah, this is, this is freaky. So he finished the kata, he turns around, he looks at us, he's like, what are you doing? Nothing. He's like, all right, well, let's work some throws. So, all right. So he and I partner up, we start going, and I went to throw him, and he kind of resisted my throw, kind of blocked the throw itself, and his shin grazed my leg, just grazed it. It wasn't a kick or anything. And then he walked away and was talking in the corner with someone, and my leg just gave out. I was like, what is going on? So I roll up my gi pant, and I had a huge burn. And somebody came over and was like, what is that?
Right.
I was like, I don't know. And I'm trying to figure out what happened.
Right.
That was
it.
And we just stood there staring at him. And he walked over and said, what's wrong with you? I was like, nothing. But everybody saw it.
Right.
So it wasn't just me.
Exactly.
Everybody saw the burn and was like, what happened? I was like,
He did it. Right.
So those are things that can't be explained.
Correct.
And people like Kudo Sensei can do things like that at will.
Wonderful.
Martial arts is designed to allow you to control things about you, you know?
Yes, sir.
And Kudo Sensei can do things like that at will. Whitley Sensei is so amazing. He does things, but I think it's intermittent. I think he's coming into his as far as that level goes.
Yes, sir.
You know, those are levels that I aspire to reach. Just like he would aspire to reach Concho's level.
Right.
You know?
Right,
So
yes, sir.
everybody has their level, and my students are trying to reach my level.
Correct.
And so on and so forth.
Yes, sir. Do you want to go?
Yeah. What is your work history, and like what do you do now as well?
Well, the thing about Whitley Sensei has dedicated his life to kids, and my work history has taken on that same path through him, hanging with him, training under him since high school. I ended up working at Brightside for Families and Children, following in his footsteps. I rose to senior treatment counselor at Brightside for Families and Children. Then I left there and went to DYS, RFK Children's Action Corps. I was the head supervisor there for Coolidge Wing. And then I transitioned into Hamden County House of Corrections from there. Again, Whitley Sensei worked at York Street Prison at the time, York Street Jail. He worked at he works at Westfield Detention Center right now. He worked in that same field, DYS, back in the days as well. I just followed him pretty much through our martial arts career, through my work history. Same thing, just following my instructors.
Okay. Now, when during your martial arts journey, when did you decide you wanted to become an instructor? You wanted to have your own dojo and have other people follow in the arts?
I honestly don't think it was a conscious decision I made. I think it was just a natural progression. To teach is to learn twice, you know?
Yes.
And this allows me to explore my art at different levels. As my instructors told me, they said they want me to be able to teach as if I'm teaching 10th degree black belts.
Okay.
You know? As well as a beginner, you know? So it gave me an opportunity to develop more.
Okay. Now, have you faced any roadblocks in life that martial arts helped you get through?
Life itself. Life itself is a roadblock to life, or of life. Just everything. Life is hard.
It is.
But because of my training and the severity of my training up, as well as the way I keep it now,
Yes, sir.
nothing's going to stop me. Nothing will stop me ever. Nothing, no matter how hard the situation, I'm coming through the other side,
Yes, sir.
shining.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Now, were you born with this drive and this fire, or is it something that you grew into?
I think I think it was inside of me, but Whitley Sensei, Kudo Sensei, and Okamoto Sensei woke it up inside of me, helped me to discover it.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Now, it's obviously something that you've been doing a long time, and life itself in itself is hard and harsh. So, the discipline that you achieve through the training actually helps you to remain calm and be able to think things through and find strategies to be able to overcome those life's obstacles. So, now, how would the family fit into that?
Family, they keep me grounded. I mean, you guys chose to come to the Underground Alliance and have us be your pilot episode, right? That would make me feel, wow, it's a great honor, but get you a big head. Then I go in the house and my wife says, take out the trash.
Brings you right back down.
Lets me know
yeah.
my place.
Right.
So,
I'm Layla Habib Haskins. I'm Sensei Randy B. Haskins' wife. We've been married for going on 8 years now, together 10. I met Randy actually when I was his daughter's kindergarten teacher back in the 90s, and that was interesting. So we've crossed paths throughout the years, and finally destiny brought us together, and we have been together so far and strong, and I'm very happy. We're very proud of that. Being a wife of a martial artist is very interesting. It's extremely interesting. It can be challenging at times. Challenging because Randy takes his martial arts wherever he goes. So it's in our marriage, it's in the upbringing of the children, it's in our daily lives. And me being a teacher in a classroom, it's funny how we kind of agree and disagree, or agree to disagree, but it has worked out throughout the years. I trained with Randy for a while at the beginning, and it could be challenging, husband and wife training together, but I learned a lot and it was fun. But I recognize that in the dojo, this is his world, and he's creating not just students, but he's creating future martial artists, and he's creating a legacy. And I wanted to be more of a support network in the background to that goal versus being in the front row, if you kind of understand where I'm coming from. And ever since I decided to take on that role, which I've been very happy in taking that role, I've seen a lot of things manifest throughout the years, not just in the dojo here at home, through his workshops, through his training, not only with students, but also in the police community and in the correctional office community. He's completely expanded the whole idea and the whole knowledge of what's karate. I have to say that right. It's been a great journey from the beginning to now, and I can see ourselves continuing this journey and supporting him in continuing the legacy and broadening Underground Alliance. And we're a big family, and that's how I see it. So I'm more like the matriarch of the Underground Alliance. So it's a wonderful thing. The way he applies it to the marriage is funny. The way he talks about technique. Everything is technique, and everything, like he says, is martial sciences. So it's funny how sometimes he puts that martial sciences and the technique in our marriage. So it works out because a lot of his logic, everything is logical. It makes sense. When it comes to bringing the kids, it has been actually wonderful, especially with our son. Our son has taken a lot of interest in the martial arts, and following the footsteps of Randy, and it's helping him grow to be a responsible young man, and understanding what it means to carry the Underground Alliance name. It means a lot. So as a family, we're together in this, and we support each other in this, but we also understand that honestly this is the basis of the family, the marriage and the children. And this is what's going to continue flowing throughout the years.
Family helps me do that. My kid, all my kids, and Dad, we got to go. You got to take me, Just,
right.
Wait a minute. We don't have a limo driver. I got to do it, So they help me stay grounded.
Okay, absolutely.
Now, keep me humble.
Yes. But anyone humble, right? Now, have you faced any roadblocks in your martial arts training, or did you reach a point where you thought, I can't do this, I don't want to continue doing it? And what kept you motivated to continue training, if so?
No matter what's going on in my life, I never stop training. My training has always been true to me. I will always be true to it. No matter what goes on in my life, I never, ever stop training. I don't care what is happening because my training has always been true to me. I work in a jail, and I've been through countless situations in that jail, as well as on the street, challenge matches in dojos, and just I've been challenged in Wendy's, you know, and my training has always came through for me. My understanding of things because of my training. So just that alone tells me I have to go deeper. I have to research deeper. I have to, I strive to reach their levels.
Yes, sir.
Whitley Sensei, Okamoto Sensei, Kudo Sensei. I strive to reach those levels. So I can't stop. I'm gonna die throwing a kick.
Right. Now, where does spirituality fit into your life and in the martial arts, in your opinion?
I'm not a religious person. My spiritual beliefs they come from just common sense, as well as things like the Bushido code, benevolence, ferocity, truthfulness, things like that. The dojo itself is set up, it's a microcosm of the world, It's like I said, the center of the dojo, like we discussed yesterday, Imbujo itself, where no lies are told.
Yes,
life
sir.
is like that, life is the map, and no lies are told in that arena. So everything has to be straightforward and blunt.
Right. Yes, sir.
My training translates to life. Everybody's training translates to life, if you look at it that way. And this is what allows me to navigate through life,
Absolutely.
Well, I only had 4 questions, but let me see. Now, I noticed in your book and also in your history from the website and everything else that you've done bounty hunting, things of that nature. I mean, I've done the same thing myself, but I've always worked under other bounty hunters as mentors. And now a lot of people would have you believe that whether you're running a warrant or anything else, that you're always going out there and smashing people on the ground and things like that. Now, I don't know about your experiences, but most of my experiences when doing that kind of work is 90% of the time I was just able to talk people to come over and get the cuffs on and everything else. So how did that help you in order to maintain control?
When I did those things, when I first got my black belt, I thought the clouds were gonna part, the sun was gonna hit me, and I was gonna hear that all-encompassing music, and I was gonna be the ultimate fighter. Didn't happen. From the day I was a brown belt, the last day being a brown belt, to the transition into black belt, nothing changed. So I was like, wow, okay. I ended up a couple of years later getting my Nidan, my 2nd degree. Nothing. So I felt I needed to experience some things in order to help me develop and understand what I needed, or So I started bodyguarding, bounty hunting, bouncing, you name it, I did it. Whatever I could do to actually get into an altercation on a legal level, I did. And it helped me adjust a lot of things. It helped me understand certain things. It helped me understand things better. It helped me adjust some things, and it made me eliminate some things. And that's why I did it. Bounty hunting, I didn't do too much, but the stuff I did taught me a lot. I worked under Chris Bellerini, out of Manchester, Connecticut. He's passed away since then. I just found out, matter of fact, because I looked him up recently. And we worked out of Connecticut because hunting is it's illegal in Massachusetts. So we worked out of Connecticut, and I just people. It taught me about people, people's mentalities, and things they do. And yes, there were times when they got crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and then there were times where it was calm. I was more like the grunt. Chris would hit the computer and track people and do this and do that, and I'd go do stakeouts and things like that. You know, it was good.
Okay. Now, how would you guide your students coming from that mentality, needing that to kind of confront people and kind of be in that situation where you were out there in the field applying your martial arts or gaining something from that experience? How would you guide your students in the right path, not to kind of develop that mentality per se?
Well, the best thing about my situation and my students' situation is the fact that I've done the groundwork for them. And I tell them I can prove everything that I say. And they've seen me do it over and over again, because we get a lot of people who come to my dojo who are non-believers. And I have to make non-believers out of
Believers
or I
out
have
of
to make believers out of non-believers.
Yes, sir.
You know? So they've seen me do it. They've witnessed a lot of things, and they have the opportunity to prove
right.
my technique wrong if they question it, if they want, you know,
Right.
they see it all the time.
Okay.
You know, so I've done the groundwork for them. You know, pretty much. Where a lot of times when people go to schools, they're working on a lot of theory. You know,
Yes, sir.
and you know, people say, well, you can break the knee like this, but how many knees have we broken? You know,
Yes, sir.
everything I teach, pretty much I've used.
Okay.
You know,
Yes, sir. And now, how would you teach your students or even yourself how to avoid the physical confrontations, how to apply the martial arts in a non-physical way?
It's not about teaching. It's just helping people understand reality. Reality is this: everybody has a lawyer. All thugs out there have lawyers. They don't want to fight, and when they do, and you hurt them, if possible, they're going to sue you. You're going to lose everything. Is it worth it? There's very few things worth fighting over. I just tell them straight up. Very few things worth fighting over. But if you have to, here's what you can do. Be smart about it. Don't get into anything. Walk away. Doesn't matter what they say to you.
Right.
But if they push the issue, some people just don't take no for an answer.
Correct.
Then you have to do what you got to do. You know, just talking to them like that, letting them know straight out. This is ridiculous. You're out there fighting. That's just dumb. You know, I work in a prison. I see it all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, right, miss.
Okay. Now, going back to your book, I read in one part, I can't remember what age you were, but I think they asked you to do, was it a cartwheel, a somersault? They tried to ask you to do something that you had never done before, and through believing in yourself, you did it.
I used to tell people all the time that I can do gymnastics, you know, just whatever. I love gymnastics. I used to watch gymnastics all the time. And so I grew up on Kenyon Street in Springfield, and there's a church kind of across the street from my house. And they had a little front yard, little grassy area. So people finally called me to task. I was like, oh, this can't be good. So I went out there and I did a round off, the backhand spring. The worst part is I landed on a pole that was sticking up out of the ground. That was crazy. Yeah. But I did it.
Right.
And never looked back. I've been doing it ever since. Even to this day, my daughter will come over sometimes and be like, hey, you know. But yeah, I just did it.
Right. So in your mind, there's no such thing as impossible. Anything is possible.
People prove it every day. No such thing.
Okay. Now, what advice would you give our viewers as far as that? Well, any advice really in life, whether it's martial arts, whether it's professional or personal. What advice would you give people in general, given the times and general life?
Don't be scared to do anything in life. Don't let people tell you can't. Don't let people destroy your confidence within yourself. There's a lot of people out there who try to make people believe that their confidence within themselves is somehow wrong. I've experienced that over and over again, and just drive through. You know, keep positive people in your life.
Absolutely.
That's very important. Positive people, because people really try to take each other down.
Absolutely. It's a shame, but it's true. Absolutely. Now, where do you see yourself, let's say 10 years from now, and where do you see martial arts 10 years from now?
With this whole mixed martial arts fiasco, I don't have a good feeling about the quality of martial arts that's out there this day and age, and where it's headed. Not a good feeling about it. Myself, I see myself in the Underground Alliance, Martial Science Research Association, Hambu Dojo, training hard and researching deep.
Okay.
So, you sure you're not expecting the clouds to part and the sun to shine down on you and you get the golden glow?
No, that's probably not going to happen. But I hope to one day be able to stand next to that man. And Whitley Sensei and Okamoto Sensei and just, you know, I hope to one day be as good as they are.
Yeah. And also I want to mention Randy Haskins has written, Sensei Randy Haskins has written how many books, and what are the books called?
Well, my first book I wrote is called Understanding the Connection, Life Lessons Extracted from the Physical. I didn't publish it. That is a manual for my students.
Okay.
The book I published is called Insight 101, The Way of Big Power. The new book I'm writing right now, which is almost done, tentatively titled Martial Advice for Training in Life. And the list goes on. I got a couple other projects that I started writing, but I put them on the back burner. My wife and I were doing a comic book. We were calling the Underground Alliance. It still possibly might be coming out, but right now I'm focusing on the newest book.
Okay. Awesome.
I think I have one more question, just because, no, good questions, they're all good questions. Just because, I mean, I've enjoyed reading your book, and it's a book that I've gone, you know, chapter 1, and before moving to chapter 2, I reread chapter 1, so anytime I'm stuck and I can ask the person who wrote the book, I'm going to take advantage of it. In your book, you stated that studying the martial arts is a limiting process. What did you mean by that?
Martial arts is one part of a whole. Martial arts is the physical aspect of the martial sciences. Martial arts is technique. It's just tools. Martial sciences is the understanding of. You know. So then you have to ask yourself, what's more important, tools or information?
Right.
Many people out there can throw beautiful punches and kicks, but don't understand how to use these tools. You know,
Yes, sir.
if I don't know how to fix a car, a toolbox is useless to me.
Right.
You know,
Yes, sir.
so I need to learn how to fix the car. A lot of people, if I ask anyone, martial artist, fighter, whatever, what are the most common acts of violence, and they can't tell me, those are guy or female who have tools with no understanding.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
The Martial Mountain is a vast area. There's many different paths up that mountain. But the summit is all one place. When we reach the summit, we all look around and can see the same views.
Yes, sir.
That, sadly enough, is not what happens this day and age. We travel up a path. My path happens to be the Underground Alliance method. Other people's path might be, you know, Taekwondo or this or that. When we get up there, we should see the same things. the understanding of that's the premise behind people judging katas and tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
You get a bunch of masters
Mm-hmm.
who are sitting there judging this person's kata. There's balance is balance, poise is poise,
Mm-hmm.
form is form. You understand? We might not know the kata, but we understand balance and these
Mm-hmm.
things. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Because of our training.
Mm-hmm.
We're all at the summit,
Yes, sir.
ideally.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But if you have somebody who's not, who doesn't understand, and they claim to be at the summit, you know, through rank, that's the
Mm-hmm.
indication.
Mm-hmm.
What path did they take? You understand?
Yes, sir.
That's the issue. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just the information has to be there. A punch is the most common habitual act of
Mm-hmm.
physical violence. A punch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should know that who
Mm-hmm.
trains. Everybody from their training.
Yes, sir.
But if you ask somebody and they don't,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on in
Question.
their mind? What type of training do they do? What happened?
Right.
You know, those are the questions that I have.
Do you think this can be corrected across the board, no matter the discipline?
I think it can if people stop looking at the physical. I go a lot of places and people talk to me about the great workout they had. So then I say, all right, well, let's have a great conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know what they learned
Mm-hmm.
throughout that hard workout. I got a great sweat. I hit the bag. I did this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, what did you learn?
Right.
That's my question.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn from the workout? You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's the key.
Right.
Anybody, I could cardio somebody
Mm-hmm.
to death without teaching them nothing.
Right.
I want to know what you learned.
Yes, sir.
I had people work out with me who went to other schools, and these people actually can't punch. They can't kick properly. They
Mhm.
hurt themselves.
Mhm.
They, you know,
Yes,
I
sir.
don't understand that dynamic. You know,
Mhm.
so those are the things that you know, that I think need to be really explored. People need to explore the information because technique and kata and drills are designed. People look at drills as a thing instead of something that's supposed to give them information. They look at it as the thing.
Right.
You know, that's a major problem. So
Mm.
they're so caught up in the drill, they forget the information they're supposed to give them.
Okay. And that's the type of mentality that you want your students to have when they're in class,
Yes.
to be to absorb that
I
from the
don't-
moment they
I don't
walk in.
want them to- I'm
Mhm.
not trying to. I'm teaching them how to train. You know,
Yes, sir.
more than training them. I'm teaching them how to train. So when they go home, they can actually explore and look at things.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
that's my goal.
Okay. That's good.
And that's also the goal of the show.
My name is Randy Haskins. Welcome to the Underground Alliance Martial Science Research Association Hambu Dojo. You're watching Martial Enlightenment. We're here to do an interview of myself.
Let's do that one more time.
All right. Wait a minute.
No pressure. No pressure.
All right. I don't know what to say. I don't have a all right.
Just be yourself.
Yes, we want to show
Alright.
that. Be yourself.
Being yourself is the best.